What's up, Philadelphia sports fans? I am Anthony Pinto. Welcome to the War Room. We are War Room Philly. How's everyone doing out there in Chatland? How we doing out there? It's, for the positive Eagles fans, maybe reality is starting to set in. If there's still positivity, by all means, bring it, because I could use some. For the Negadelphians, here we are. I guess I call us realists, but, for the people that were maybe not so high on the Eagles going into this year, here we are. Remember, I said this team could go 0-8 especially if they don't win that Atlanta game. They really needed to win that San Francisco game too. A very winnable game. But you saw what the Eagles did against a formidable team. And in my opinion, the Dallas Cowboys are a better team than the San Francisco 49ers. And I think at year's end, you'll see that. The Dallas Cowboys have one thing, it's a potent offense. If the Philadelphia Eagles have one thing, it's we still don't know. We still don't know. I said that going into the game. I'll say that throughout most of the year. We think we have a good defense, but you saw what they did against a potent offense. And you're getting another one. 41 points is simply too much. Total team letdown against Dallas Cowboys. We'll get into that. We'll get into the Eagles. We'll also get into the reason why I'm wearing this number 25. Not McCoy on the back. It says Shady. That was a custom from way back in the day. I'm surprised they still fit in it. Humble brag. Bought it big. So, wasn't liking that. Yeah, we'll get into a little bit of everything. The Phillies came and went. The Phillies came and went. It's that simple. And moving into the world of Ben Simmons, it's like we don't even want to talk about it. Oh my God, every friggin' week. All I want to do is get through 1 week where it's like, nothing's happened, so can we not talk about it? And then every week, something sort of happens that we have to bring it back up again. And this week, and rightfully so, after Joel Embiid has kind of gone and bent over backwards to defend Ben Simmons all offseason, and throughout most of his career, you could see Joel Embiid has never once thrown Ben under the bus. He's, in my opinion, from all accounts, has been a good teammate to everybody, not just Ben Simmons. Let me try to find... let me find the one part here. This is a pretty big quote I got here from Joel Embiid. This is the part that I like. Oh wait, no. Let me keep going back up. So I feel like our teams have been built around. Okay, here. This is good. So basically, on building around Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, or his camp, has basically said that he and Simmons aren't the best fit. And at the top of this, Ben Simmons, or Joel Embiid's even like, I don't know if this is coming from Simmons. It sounds more like it's from his camp. Because, again, at least in Joel Embiid's world, those two are tight. And now we're looking at this, and it's Ben Simmons basically thinks that an offense needs to be built around him, And I kind of agree with Joel Embiid, so let me get back into his take, which is, so I feel like our teams have always been built around his needs. It's kind of surprising to see for him to say that. Even going back to the reason why we signed Al, we got rid of Jimmy Butler. And then he goes, which I still think was a mistake. I love that he threw that in there. It's a little stab in the side to everybody up top. Because it is a mistake, and it was a mistake to get rid of Jimmy Butler. Which I still think it was a mistake. Simmons needed the ball in his hands. That's the decision that they made. Like I said, it's surprising, but I'm really focused on the guys here. The situation is weird, disappointing, and borderline disrespectful to all the guys that are out here fighting for their lives. Some guys rely on the team to be successful, to stay in the league and make money somehow. So yeah, and it goes on and it goes on. But I mean, again, not to be the Joel Embiid fanboy, but man, I totally, that's how I feel. Look, if you want to be traded, it's one thing, and I even get holding out, but to then start throwing Embiid under the bus, man, now you're pushing the wrong buttons. Now it's like, come on, dude, what are you doing with your life? You're picking fights that you're not going to win, for one. And yeah, I agree with Embiid, because what is this whole... Look at the team that they just built this year. It was all shooters. You know what I mean? Like, everyone that they went out and signed was a perimeter guy. Seth Curry, Danny Green. Even down to the deadline when you got George Hill, who never was, he never made a shot from the perimeter, but that's what he was advertised. This team and this fan base has seemingly bent over backwards for Ben Simmons. And now him or his camp is like going out of their way to throw the wrong people under the bus. And again, it's and almost villainize Philadelphia as if we're the problem. And again, it's if you go and watch even up to Game 7, every time Ben Simmons was up to the line, the fans were giving it to them. To the point where Collins, you can see there's a point where Collins is egging, he's like, no, this is making... He basically thought that us cheering him on was making him nervous. So is that us being we're literally like rooting for you with our heart, and I say that because I was at Game 7 and I was part of that crowd. We're literally giving you our all for encouragement to show you we got your back, dude. Just make 1 out of 2. Now you want to make this a Philadelphia thing? Now you want to make this a Joel Embiid thing? Time and time again, I sat up here on this microphone and I said Ben Simmons is a 10-year security blanket for a general manager. And I still feel that way. That's part of the reason why I wouldn't be just giving him away. But to the people that are like, let him sit there and rot the entire season, that sounds fun in theory, but you got Joel Embiid, who every year you do not win a championship with Joel Embiid. It's 1 more year away from his prime, which isn't going to be long. That's why I thought Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid were a great 1-2, because I thought by the time Embiid is out of his prime, Simmons will still be in phase 1 of his prime. which regardless of all of this, I would have said is set to start this season. Now, we'll see what that is. But in my opinion, Ben Simmons' prime is set to start this season. And again, that's why I'm not just getting rid of him. Because yes, maybe on paper his value is at its lowest, but if you wait long enough, you will eventually find something this season before the trade deadline for Ben Simmons that will impact this team to help win a championship potentially as soon as this year. I still firmly believe that. I just hope it happens sooner rather than later. But yeah, as someone that was, dare I say, a big Ben Simmons fan, this is gut-wrenching. It's infuriating. Sending out some links and collecting my thoughts as I do the solo show, trying to promote it, get some more people in. So yeah, again, it's this thing with the Simmons. I'm not going to waste any more time. So just to wrap the Ben Simmons section of the show up, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like, it's a situation that at the end of the day, he's probably going to win. Hopefully the Sixers can still win too. But we, the fans, are going to get dragged through the mud through this whole process. Pun intended. Speaking of dragging through the mud, the Dallas Cowboys whooped the Eagles all Monday night. All Monday night. Just up and down the field. Pull up the box score. And it's not going to show anything good. Miles Sanders' first run was for 24 yards. He got one more carry the entire game. A first half that wasn't out of reach. A first half that never called for the run to be abandoned. Nick Sirianni somehow mismanaged this game so much that, Doug Peterson won us the Super Bowl. We're always going to love him for that. But when Doug Peterson was going good, he was outstanding. But when Doug Peterson was going bad, he was never even that bad. 3 runs? 3 runs? And again, your first one was a 24-yard run. It out of the gate looked like it was working, and you immediately abandon it. 3 runs from your running backs. Pathetic. That's 2 straight weeks that your offense, specifically the play calling, has been atrocious. And already, the calls are in chat for get rid of them. It's already happening. I gotta expand my window. We got so many tabs open today. I promise I didn't have a stroke. I'm here. Collecting my thoughts. Chat, I had so many windows open. I was getting out of hand. And it was very last minute that I found that this was going to be a solo show. And that's on me. I missed that one. Keith, around like 6, gave me his info, and somewhere throughout everything, I apparently throughout, because we just had conversations throughout the day, somewhere along the line, I missed the fact that Kevin is currently sitting in his seats for Carnage. I'm going to pull an Eli Manning. That one's for you, Kev. You guys can blur it out, right? So the Eagles, we're going to talk about this Dallas game. I'm seeing a picture of Shady. I'm not going to forget to talk about that. That's going to be the fun part. Not that it's all not fun with you guys. Not that it's not all fun. So, okay. Here's this computer. Computer and brain struck that. So, a 20-point loss. Sounds closer than it really was. It's a game that the Eagles are never in. And Jalen Hurts, maybe by the box score, looked like he had a good game. 326 yards. And 2 touchdowns, if you look at it from that angle. But 2 interceptions. Got sacked twice. Did he lose a fumble? No fumble. Not that I can see. So, the 25 for 39, and again, it's the optics, right? He's missing people who were wide open. It's still the passes that are the quote-unquote NFL passes he's missing. And by no means is it necessarily time to push the panic button. I think regardless, you give Jalen Hurts the entire year. I don't really need to see Gardner Minshew ever. It was a stupid trade. I said that from day one. That was a move that you were fully ready to... They made that move because Howie thought he was getting Deshaun Watson. And he said, I'm going to need a starting quarterback, and I can't start Joe Flacco this year. So I'm going to get Gardner Minshew. And then it all fell through. And he goes, well, I still look good because Joe Flacco looks so bad that... if Jalen Hurts goes down, blah, 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 blah. But this year was never about winning, as you can see. Because this team still needs depth at offensive line. Because for everyone that all year, healthy offensive line. It's week 3 and 3 of them are already down and out. And that was as predictable as the sun coming up tomorrow morning. Because this line they weren't healthy the Super Bowl year, and you got lucky. They have not been healthy since 2017. Shout out to Jason Kelce, who seemingly is always out there. But Brandon Brooks, since he signed his contract, I don't think has played 3 straight games. Or maybe 3 games total. Jordan Mailata signs a contract, goes down. Sam Alou, out for the year. And we're not even talking about the team on the field still. And I'm already this up in arms. I just realized how distracting my phone was. I got so many cords over here. We should be alright. It was really low on battery. I hate that my phone does that. I swear I've turned that off 3 times. I think every time Samsung does a stupid update, my goddamn screensaver comes back on. I'm charging my phone. I don't want it to be on using battery. Whose idea was that? Idiots? So, getting back to this Dallas massacre. The Dallas massacre. No good signs from this game, honestly. Just, you look at it and you're like, can we find any positives? No. No, there really wasn't. Your entire team was just, in my opinion, exploited. So hopefully we'll see. And I think that we're going to see in the wrong way come Sunday when the Chiefs come into town. And the Chiefs are going to be a none too excited football team with their performance throughout the year, as they're also 1-2. But the Chiefs are a good team, and the Eagles aren't. So the Chiefs at 1-2 are going to look a lot more ready than the Eagles are at 1-2. And guess what? They're gonna come in and they're gonna lay a spank down on Nick Sirianni. Andy Reid's gonna come in and go, "That's how it's done, son." My Andy Reid is very rusty. Is that better? No, I don't remember how to do Andy Reid. I don't. Now I'm just doing some weird. I digress. So yeah, again, I none too excited about this game, but it'll be a game that the Eagles can honor McCoy, and I think it's rightfully so. I think that there's a reason and a timing that McCoy did this when he did, because he played for both of these teams, so it'll be nice that he can see Andy Reid, a guy that brought him into town, even. So it's going to be. It'll be a fun day to see, McCoy honored. And it was a question that I posed to facebook.com/warroomphilly. What up, Joe? I see you out there. I think the number 25, I didn't say it like this. I posed, should it be retired? My personal thoughts. And this is, I think this is a good way. Jeff kind of brings it up in his own, with his own question. And he says, I love LaShawn when he was here, but do I put him up there with Reggie White or Brian Dawkins? Well, Reggie White was the best at his position. Brian Dawkins was the best at his position. LaShawn McCoy was at the best at his position. And Joe, who pops in the chat at the perfect time, mentioned in Facebook, LaShawn McCoy was traded in his prime. So think about the numbers that he would have put up on top of that. In my opinion, it looks weird when anyone's wearing the number 36. So yeah, it's going to look even more weird when a guy who, in my opinion, was better than 36 wears the number 25. I think they should go into the ring at the same time. Put Brian Westbrook and LaShawn McCoy in at the same day. Make it running back day. Maybe Nick Sirianni will run the ball more than 3 times. Anyone who doesn't is closet. Joe, that's funnier than the way you put it on our Facebook. I'll never forgive Kelly for that. Yeah, you needed Chip Kelly You needed Chip Kelly to tear it down so that we could build it up to become the Super Bowl, okay? I agree. Wish that dude nothing but bad luck. Nothing but bad luck. Um, is it still a violation for me to sort of root for Oregon? You know, I was a big Chip Kelly fanboy before he came in because I do kind of like that Oregon team. Every week I forget to take this off of the table. I've been getting good with the podcast. I remember to take it off, but I always forget with this because I always bang into it because I'm so focused on looking in at you guys. But yeah, I personally think that they should both go in. And you know, where was it? We had the Bednarik fans, you know, who are probably in their 50s. But Adam goes, I like Westbrook and McCoy both. But both are distantly behind Bednarik when it comes to running back in franchise history. 10-time first team All Pro, 8-time Pro, blah, blah, blah. I look at that and I go, really? Because let's look up how many Pro Bowls LaShawn McCoy and Brian Westbrook made. And let's take into consideration the different NFL that's played today. And I'm sure they stack up right up there. The 2-time NFL champion thing is nice. But again, that was before the Super Bowl. There was a lot less teams. It was a different NFL. And it's no disrespect to say that those guys were better. And they were. Leaps and bounds more talented than him. But he was the best of his time. They were not the best of their time, but of the Eagles' time, they're the franchise best. It's 1, 2, and 3. You know, maybe that's where Bednarik lands at 3. I mean, Miles Sanders will probably be up there too. Why are people comparing tomatoes to chocolate bars? True. True is true. So, that's what I was thinking. But Bednarik wasn't even... Dude didn't even play. I digress. Whatever. So yeah. Again, gotta see something. All right, we'll do this later. But yeah, I personally, and I think some people get like, to me, I want to see those guys retired numbers. I think that from that era, 5, 20, 36, from the era in between now and then, 25, one number. The Super Bowl team, you'll have 55. You probably have Kelsey. You'll probably have, I would say, numbers that get retired from the Super Bowl team: Kelsey, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, maybe Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is probably going to go down as the all-time leading receiver. He's probably got at least 4 numbers out of the Super Bowl team. First Super Bowl in franchise history. You better retire some goddamn numbers in their honor. I'll even say 56. Chris Long gets it. No, I'm just kidding. That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my Super Bowl jersey. Every time that guy talks, I like him more and more. Which I just, every time I'm like, there's no way I could like Chris Long. Oh, he talked again. I like him more. So, moving forward, looking at this Chiefs games, we talked about the Cowboys game at nauseum. We got Flyers action. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We'll be talking about that next week, Joe. I promise you that. I promise you that. A lot of hockey talk will be back once we'll get Kevin Christian back in. As we mentioned at the top of the show, I somehow missed in chat today in our group chat that where Billy have that Kevin Christian is currently sitting his butt down watching Carnage in a movie theater. Isn't that just nice for him? No, it really is. So I'm happy he's enjoying himself. I'm just jealous. Although it's a movie I'd much rather watch right there on my couch than having to go to the movie theater for. But it's been since Star Wars since I saw a movie at a movie theater. So I'll probably get out there for Let There Be Carnage, the Venom 2, because I am a symbiote fanboy. I love the Venom series. I love the Carnage series. I love all things Spider-Man. There's a little Venom stress toy. So now my mic is Venomized for the rest of the. Actually, I just realized with the color scheme, that's kind of looks like him. Let's fix it a little bit. I love it. It's the best day of my life. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the mic. I am excited for the mic. I'm excited to watch that movie when I get to see it. I'm glad my boy Kev's saying it tonight. I am going to ask him nothing about it. Nothing. I don't want to know anything. I want to have a blank slate going into this movie. So I digress. Speaking of blank slates, Nick Sirianni's play calling. Favorite shady moment was the snowball. Of course. You don't even ask. Because that game was just a career day. It was an absolute career day. We could probably, because it's just us, we can do some different things here. Since it's just me and you guys out there.
Can possibly feel like a playoff game. I mean, two teams right in the mix, 27 degrees, and yeah, look at that picture. Snow coming down hard
I already got it set
in Philadelphia. And I think this is a lot more snow than people expected in this area, John. Look at it. It's sticking to the eyelashes. That's how thick it is. We got here this morning, and there was nothing on the field. It was clear and a lot more.
It was a fun game. I feel like we don't even
to the 21. It's a gain of.
So we all remember this game, right? McCoy this game was the embodiment.
And McCoy gets up to the 21. It's a gain of 5.
But he could do everything.
The draw to McCoy,
and
finally has some space, and McCoy gains. Give Mates yards.
Murph, I meant to text you because when you and I saw, I was talking about my late great Uncle Greg recently, and I said to my other Uncle John, I said, if I texted my friend Murphy right now, and all I have to do is send him the word Spider-Man, I guarantee you he'll respond with me with something funny. So the fact that you popped in here at the perfect time while we're talking about Venom, the world just came full circle. But oh my God, LaShawn McCoy was the man. We'll talk McCoy. I'm gonna let this video play because again, it's just me tonight. So what we can do is not have to worry about what other people can or can't hear or see. It's just you guys. You're the only thing I'm worried about. And yeah, the shady Murph. I wore this. I said to my lovely now roommate, our second date. This was my attire. I wore this jersey on our second date. You know why? What was the second date? Murphy, you were there. You were a company to me, and now, again, my now roommate, Jamie. This is what I wore on our second date for the Super Bowl. And in fact, she wore Westbrook. she wore my Westbrook jersey. Because again, the two best running backs, 1 and 2, in Philadelphia Eagles history. And again, I'm going to go out there and say, retire both of their numbers on the same day. Do it, Eagles. Get it to them. Someone clip it. Get it to the Eagles. You need, because it's still, in my opinion, it's a little egregious. Oh, this run. Let's go. Can we see one dance? Oh, I love the shady dance. Sean McCoy was something else, man. I'm gonna keep trying to bring it back into the forefront, but this video's still got like 2 more minutes, and I'm gonna let it play out because it's a little remembrance. And again, I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that it's just you and us tonight. No, it's solo show. Chat's the co-host. Chat's always the co-host. Shout out to Nick Foles. Look at Nick Foles back there. The legend of Nick Foles. Nick Foles is the most interesting man in Philadelphia sports history. Let's go! Can we give Miles Sanders the ball? That's all I'm saying. There it is. 2 jerseys you can rock no matter what. Shady and Hurts. Okay. What about Westbrook? I still have the, and I wear it every now and then. You'll see it once this year. I still got the blue, or the yellow and blue Westbrook. That still fits me, thankfully. B-Dog. Yeah, definitely B-Dog. My brother stopped by the house Monday, for the game. He's rocking the all-black, the midnight black Brian Dawkins, and I love it. Oh, Jason Avant, the fact that he wore number 81. Speaking of numbers that should be retired, we should give T.O. retired. These runs all game. Just all game. What's the ugliest jersey ever? You don't like the black? You don't like the black jerseys? I love the black uniform. I love the black jerseys. Oh, my favorite. Fred X on this team? No, he was not. Why, was there an 84? 84 on this team would have been... No, maybe you saw 14, Cooper. I don't even know. 84 would have been maybe a... Oh, the blue and yellow. Yes, I agree. Blue and yellow jersey is... It's ugly, but it's a pretty ugly, you know? That's why you only bust it out like once a year, because you're like, it's like, it's like a puke yellow. You're right. It's a very 70s gold kind of, but the blue is nice, and the blue is what makes it worth wearing. That blue is like a very pretty color blue. Yeah, my boy Nicky Foles. I stand by that. That's not a troll. I know people think I troll on Nick Foles, but he's the most interesting man in Philadelphia sports. At no time is that okay to wear. I'm telling you, the yellow and blue jersey is once a year you bust it out and you're like, yeah. Maybe it's Thanksgiving and you get some gravy stains on it, but not once a year you bust out the yellow and blue. Especially when you do this show for me, like, you'll see. Maybe, you know what? Maybe you spurred it on. Joe. Maybe the next time I grace the video waves, maybe you'll see the yellow one. That'll be just for you. But that's more mid-season. That's still mid-season because I'm still busting out some of the old ones. As long as they still fit. There's a lot that don't. But hey, I've got about. I mean, some of these jerseys are from 2010. I got about 10 years out of them, so I call that a good day. I'm not the biggest fan of the way the new ones fit. I like the Reebok fit way better. They're just more comfortable. They're lighter. When I wear the new one, like my Chris Long one, it feels like I'm wearing like a friggin' suit. Like my arms feel restricted. Is it just me, or do I got the wrong size? I'll wear it if I don't want a second date. Now, see, I wore this one on my second date. This was my second date. And I actually think I wore an Eagles collared polo on my first date because I'm a tool. But she's still with me, so it worked. It worked. Three, almost 4 years later. Oh. But yeah, the McNabb days. Yeah, and LeSean McCoy was one of a kind. Just to wrap that up while I'm closing that window. Patrick Mahomes, he's one of a kind. Yes, I did. 100%, Joe. 1,000%. Philly Murph can also attest to that. So yeah. I hit the lottery and back. But I digress. This isn't brown nosing. She's not watching. She's in the other room. She doesn't watch anymore now that she lives with me. So she finally can get enough. So she might be able to hear though. Shh. Cops. But let's get back to the birds. You're right. When you're right, you're right, Joe. When you're right, you're right. Speaking of special kinds of girls, Patrick Mahomes is a hell of a quarterback. That guy, Patrick Mahomes, can fire a ball sack around like no man else. Excuse me, what the hell did you just say, Pinto? Oh, God, he's talking to himself and referring to himself in the third and second person. We've lost him. Sorry, I went to Gary Busey land. No, but for real, I don't want to spend... It feels like how I felt going into the Cowboys game. Like, I don't want to spend too much time talking about this because it's going to be an ass whooping. And you know me, if it's not, I'll be the first to come up here and be like, holy shit, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. But I'm not going to be surprised. Chiefs win 42-10. That's what Joe says. Yeah, I'm not giving a score. It's probably going to be a lot to a little. And the Chiefs are going to be ready for it. They're going to be like, all right, in the first quarter, Nick Sirianni is going to come out running the ball. We're going to stack the box. We're going to force them to do otherwise. This is the thing. When week 1, it was he didn't attack over the top. Week 2, he only attacked over the top. Week 3, he didn't run the ball. Week 4, he's only going to go to run the ball. Nick Sirianni needs to find his balance and find it quick. His play calling is part of the problem. And I don't want to just let Nick Sirianni off the hook because Jalen Hurts misses passes. And I'm not going to let Jalen Hurts off the hook just because Nick Sirianni's calling a bad game. Jalen Hurts, time and time again this season through 3 games, it's only 3 games. This isn't, again, Jalen Hurts starts every game this season. I'll make that abundantly clear. This isn't me saying anything should be changed, but Jalen Hurts still, the knock on him is, can he throw the NFL ball? And guess what? Through 3 games, we still have yet to see it. Making one here and there doesn't count. You have to be able to do it with some sense of consistency. And it's not that he's just missing on the long ball. He's missing on intermediate ones. When there's passes that he needs to throw it with pep, he's not getting in there with zip. Look, say what you want about Donovan McNabb, and a lot of people like to bash McNabb. He's the greatest quarterback in Philadelphia Eagles history. That dude could fire a laser. Sure, it went into the earth a lot of the times, but that dude could fire a laser. Jalen Hurts does not have that arm strength. Not yet, at least. But here's the thing. You can develop touch. You can develop a deep ball. But it's hard to develop arm strength. That's something you either have or you don't have. So I've yet to see it, and until proven further notice, I'm going to continue to question it. But I'll say it every time. God damn, I'm rooting for him. I'm wearing midnight green, right? God damn, I'm rooting for him. But I have my questions. So far, it's early. Again, it's week 3, but he's answered one of my questions, which is I don't fear his health. Last year it was a lot of one read and run. He's not doing that this year. There has been some progress. Again, I'm not here to bash on Jalen Hurts. I'm a big fan of his. But that's just like when I would say Carson has a propensity to turn over the ball. With Jalen Hurts is, does he have the arm strength for the NFL? We'll see. I'm a fan of both of theirs. I mean, I'm no longer a fan of Wentz's, and I'm no longer a fan of Ben Simmons. But we'll see. We'll see about Jalen Hurts. I'm rooting for him. I yearn for McNabb back, right? Like, could you imagine having a top 5 quarterback for 10 years? Could you imagine having that again? Oh. Borderline Hall of Famer? Oh. So when people said, I don't even know if I want to repeat it on stream, but when people would call, oh God, I hate it. It's so lowbrow. And I guess as long as I started with that, it makes it easier to get out of my chest. But when people would say the dumb thing of, Carson Wentz is Dwight McNabb, I'm like, I'll take that. If you mean that Carson Wentz is going to be the next greatest, 10-year quarterback in franchise history, yeah, I'll take that all day. But your comment is rude, borderline racist, ignorant, and wrong. Because Carson Wentz can't even tie McNabb's cleats. But that's what we want in Jalen Hurts. We want the guy to be like, this guy is going to be a Pro Bowler 8 out of the next 10 years. He's going to, take us to multiple division titles. And every year we're going to think that we can make the Super Bowl because this guy's our quarterback. That's what we're looking for. And guess what? It's, dare I say, the hardest thing in sports to do is to find that guy. Now, you know what? I disagree with that statement. Redact that from the record. But it's the most important thing to do. It's the most important thing in sports to do. Let's scratch that, edit it out, put that statement in. It's not the hardest, but it's the most important thing to do. It's the most important position in all of sports. The quarterback position in the NFL. Plain as day. And Patrick Mahomes is that guy. Patrick Mahomes is, when it's all said and done, more than likely going to be a Hall of Famer. Probably going to have more hardware in his trophy case, whatever it may be. Patrick Mahomes is going to come into Philadelphia this weekend and carve up our damn defense. I tell you what. So with that, kind of put a knot on that on the Kansas City Chiefs talk. If anything, we will resume that Facebook Live on Sunday, and next week we'll be back to our regularly. Actually, no, we won't. That's right. Next week we will be changing things up and going to a new schedule. We'll confirm it on Facebook, but I believe that we are going to start doing our shows back at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays, so that we can be here more fresh right after a game. And we feel like for chat, it's more electric to have chat in for the live shows for reactions. Because today, like, when we do things normally, Thursdays are more the let's look ahead day. So now we're going to leave that more to the podcast. Is going to be the look ahead game. And then reactions will be more the live show. And also, tidbit, it's a little harder for us all after working the 9 to 5 to be ready at 7. So the 8 o'clock start helped us all. So Tuesdays at 8 is going to be the new Twitch show. And then you can start to look for the podcast on Wednesdays. But Thursday is going to be like the drop date. But I'm going to try to get it up Wednesday as many times as possible. And again, that's still something that we'll be working the minutiae out. But yeah, I think that the podcast will have a little more life if we can do it that way. So it'll be fun. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to move this thing forward and keep the thing going. We took a week off this week because Monday Night Football, and it was just a congested week for everyone, and it wouldn't have felt right. But yeah, as we work this new schedule out, it's gonna get all ironed out, and it's gonna be fun, and just gonna keep being the content factory that we are here at War Room Philly, and we appreciate all of the support that we got. And if tell your friends, hey, look up this podcast on War Room Philly. You got Spotify? Hey, check out War Room Philly. Oh, you got Google Play or whatever other thing that you got? Oh, check out War Room Philly. They got 2 episodes. Give them a listen. Yell at them on Facebook. Yell at them on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you got it. At War Room Philly, baby. Speaking of things that make me want to yell, chat, here we are. The Memoriam. Can we officially put this Phillies season to the bed? Can we officially fade this season to black? Because the Phillies, I'm sure they're losing right now. Ooh, chat, I just remembered I got a eBay bid I got to check in on here. I'm going for, I shouldn't show you because I don't want anyone to bid on it. But I got this thing ending in 5 minutes, and I am trying to win it. And I think I'll still be on air, so we'll see if being on stream helps me with any luck. But no one go in there and snipe for me unless you're gonna gift it to me. But I got a shelf right here, and actually I have 3, and I got 1 so far. It's all Star Wars, and I think what I'm about to do is buy this pop, and then another one's gonna be all Star Wars, and they're all gonna have lightsabers. They're all gonna have lightsabers. And the next one, it's gonna just be all. I'm gonna just start rearranging, and it's a very important project in my life right now. I thank you guys for listening and giving me the comfort and support, which the Philadelphia Phillies have not been able to do this entire season. It's actually miraculous to me that they're still technically in the hunt this late into the season, and the fact that there was a very real, like, I tuned in on Monday because I was like, you know what? I know I'm kind of on a break right now because I'm excited for playoff baseball, and I know the Phillies aren't going to be it, and I kind of needed a little bit of break because the Phillies have played ugly. Like, if you've watched this team, if you've actually watched this team, you know that they've been a bad team. And for anyone commenting on our Facebook wall and talking about how this team is better than you think they are, you're just flat out wrong. Like, I am so sick and tired of being like, no, they're just 2 relievers away. They just went out and got 7 relievers, and they still suck. Why? Because they have no farm system. You know where you get relievers from? You get them from your farm system. You know why there's no good relievers out on the market? Because teams keep the good relievers. Every team in baseball wants a reliever right now. So if you think that you can go out there and get 2 to 3 high quality relievers, they're not going to be there. Archie Bradley was the high quality receiver, or I keep saying receiver, reliever that was out there. Guess what? He sucks. Just like, what was it, 2 years ago that you got the idiot from the Yankees? And he sucked. He never pitched a game for the Phillies. Teams know when to get rid of their relievers. That's why they become available. You haven't made a good signing, free agent reliever signing, since like Papelbon, and everyone hated that move too by the end of it. Let's go to facebook.com/WarRoomPhilly, where I know there were some good answers. Let me find them. Here they go. Yeah, see, like there's comments like this from Dave. They need a closer to setup man. No, well, this one I kind of agree with. They need a closer, setup man, new center fielder, left fielder. Don't know if they can afford to replace Didi. Yeah. Oh, by the way, they're gonna need a first and a third baseman too. My man Dustin, who's got the top fan badge, and he's got a longer comment, so stick with me. The offense isn't great, but I feel like they are good enough right now. Center field is still a question mark, and Bohm is coming back in good form. And Bohm coming back in good form will solidify third. Pause. What the hell gives you the reason to say that? Like, what? What just makes you believe that, like, did we just wave a magic wand and Alec Bohm is good? What? What makes you think that Bohm is going? So, okay, let's get back. Every other position I'm comfortable with. Okay, I'm off of it again because I disagree. But we'll get into the minutiae. Didi struggled this year, but I'm not ready to say he's washed. I am. He's very washed. He sucks. But one more year, keep him on the bench. By the way, what sparked these comments is, and let me finish Dave's, and then we'll get back to it, because I just realized I scatterbrained a bit here, and I kind of moved my thoughts on the Phillies into this. But it'll all be full circle. I promise you guys that. They need at least 2 pitchers. They need at least 2 starting pitchers, which I agree with. They don't need to be top tier, but they need to be at least decent 3 to 4 quality. Yeah, I agree with that. And the bullpen needs to be blown up and seriously addressed. They already did that. Your bullpen's never going to be good until your farm system starts producing things. So yeah, that was about the most of David's things that we can use for. Everything else was, again, it's not like it was bad. I'm using things that I can get as conversation starters. But yeah, again, this whole notion that this team can be better than they like. First base is going to be a question mark next year. Third base is going to be a question mark next year. Shortstop, you need to replace Didi Gregorius. Gene Segura proved formidable. Your catcher proved formidable. Your right fielder proved formidable. Your right fielder should be the MVP. Everything else is just... So, yeah. That's my thoughts on it. Oh, I just realized I missed out on this. I was talking too much and worrying about the show. I missed out on my Funko Pop. Get them next time. But yeah, we are going to be... It is kind of time to start wrapping it up. So, start getting your final thoughts in now. If you have any memoriams for this Philly season, we'll continue to talk about that in the offseason and what they should do throughout the offseason as it occurs. But yeah, we're up on the hour mark, and I'm by myself, so that's always even a little extra pat when it's just me and chat. But we covered it all tonight. We got everything out there. Next week it'll be a little bit more hockey intense. We'll break down all of the preseason action that has happened so far. We'll find the freshest of the stories. Flyers are kind of the only team that we didn't bring up tonight, but again, it's not out of lack of watching or anything. We're just pack it all in. Tonight there was so much other stuff to piss me off that I had to get my wits in. So yeah, it's been a fun one, chat. As far as the nonsense goes, I don't even really have much of that, because I got that part in with the Carnage talk earlier. So chat, it's been a fun one tonight. I appreciate you guys tuning in, both live and on demand. Shout out to the YouTubers. We appreciate you guys, and again, make sure you follow us on Spotify, Google Play, wherever, Apple. I think we're on that too. Wherever you listen to your podcast, give us a shout, give us a listen. Once we get up to a certain amount of listens, then you can start following us and the whole nine. So help us build it, help us get this thing going. And there'll be a new episode coming out next week, so that'll be episode 3. Looking forward to it. But yeah, it's been a fun one. Thank you all for tuning in, both live and on demand. With that, I'm Anthony Pinto, and we